Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be the start of another weekend reading vlog. I'm super excited to film this again. I love reading vlogs and I love especially the weekend ones because I feel like they just keep me on track of my reading goal and help me read super quickly. So anyway, enough chit chat. This reading vlog, it's starting on Saturday. I usually prefer to start on Friday because it's like the beginning of the weekend. I can read and relax Friday night, but I wasn't able to do that because I had way too much stuff to do. I just got back from work because we're doing inventory at work, and if you work in retail you know the horror of inventory. But I just got back from work. It's about 2 p.m. It is Saturday. It's a little rainy and dreary, so I thought this would be the perfect time to start The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. This book has just been everywhere, and I think this is a really good one to vlog because this is a book that I have heard about literally everywhere. I'm not even kidding. If you look up like the Goodreads reviews, they're great. I haven't read the reviews, I've just seen the rating, and just people have been glowing about this book. So I decided to pick it up, and I have no idea what it's about. I have not looked at the Goodreads synopsis. I have not looked at like the genres, so I mainly like don't know what this book is supposed to be. Like, I'm expecting something because of like the cover obviously, but I haven't really heard any concrete things. So I think that's really great, and I'm gonna vlog that process of me discovering what this book is about. But anyway, before I jump into the vlog, I do want to mention the partner for this video. I'm partnering with Nordgreen watches. This is one of the watches that they sent me. They are sustainably and ethically made. They were packaged in this sustainable packaging. I will leave more details in the link down below where you can go to the website to shop their watches, but I just think they're so like minimal and just so beautiful. This one especially, I really like the link chain. I used to wear I had a Daniel Wellington watch that I used to wear every single day, and then I lost it when I went to, I don't know, I was somewhere else, but I lost it, and then I didn't wear watches for a long time, but now I'm really getting into them again. So I'm super happy that I have this watch. It's a little big, so I'm going to get it sized so that it fits up here, but just it looks so beautiful. I'm gonna do a lot of close-up shots, but if you would like to shop around their website or take a look, I do have a 15% off discount code. You could just use the code ALEX for 15% off. And yeah, I will leave all links down below to them. Thank you so much, Nordgreen, for gifting me a watch and letting me talk about it with you guys. But anyway, let's go into the vlog. Like I said, it's Saturday. I just got back from work, so I'm eating a little bit of lunch. I have some pasta, pesto, and then I'm gonna make my to-do list for the weekend, and then after that I think we can finally start reading. But I'm just gonna bring you on a little bit of how I do my to-do list. So let's cue the montage. Welcome back to another update. It is about 11 p.m. right now. Obviously, I think you might notice a huge difference is my hair. I decided after I filmed that clip, then I took a nap, and then I woke up and I decided that I want to cut my hair off. So I cut off like more than 2 inches, about 2 inches. But anyway, I just want to talk a little bit about the book that I've been reading because I was able to do some reading today. So I started The House in the Cerulean Sea. I am just under 100 pages, and it is kind of what I thought it was gonna be, but kind of not. And like, I'm saying that because like the vibes are kind of like what I expected this book to be, but the story is not what I expected it to be. And like we follow the main protagonist, who is a 40-year-old man. So I think that's super interesting. I think that's like the oldest like main protagonist I've ever read in a book before. So that's really interesting. The vibes, let me just say the vibes are immaculate. A lot of people have described this book just like on Twitter and things that I've seen on Instagram as when you're reading this book, you're just like huddled under a warm bed, like with pillows around you, and it's comfy and warm and inviting. And this book is just so beautiful, like the way that the author describes everything, this world and the magic, and just, I love how the main protagonist is in his head so much of the time that I feel like it's kind of comical. There is like a little bit of humor in this book from here and there. But anyway, I decided to take a break because, okay, I wish I could show you my computer screen right now. I can't because it's like, I don't want to turn it around. But Big Time Rush is on Netflix, so I'm going to be spending the rest of the night watching Big Time Rush because Big Time Rush, 4 boys from Minnesota who become pop stars. I'm in Minnesota now, so I just feel like it's really cool to see Minnesota rep, which is really interesting. But anyway, I'm absolutely loving this book. I'm hoping to read a huge dent of it tomorrow. I think I made a good start for today, but that's how I'm feeling right now. It's giving me vibes of like, what is it, series of unfortunate events kind of vibes, only because of just like the like, it's just giving me those vibes, and I don't know why. I can't pinpoint why. I can't pinpoint all my feelings yet, but anyway, the vibes are just beautiful. The way the descriptions, just everything is so good, and I really like the pacing so far. I think it's like a very slow pacing, but it's not too slow to where I like am not interested in continuing to read. It's just a very nicely paced book, and I'm really enjoying it. So anyway, I'm gonna watch Big Time Rush for the rest of the night, but I'll update you tomorrow when I do some more reading. Now please enjoy this silent montage of Big Time Rush because I had a copyright claim when I exported it before. I've got some breakfast here, some orange juice, and I just have been reading a little bit, so I'm just going to continue reading, and don't look at my nails, they're terrible. And then I'm going to continue reading, eat my sandwich. It's just a breakfast sandwich with some egg and ham, or Canadian bacon. And yeah. Okay, so it is now 12 p.m. It's about noon time, so I'm going to stop reading. I did spend a little time reading. I would say like 45 minutes to an hour reading. I love waking up at 8 a.m. on Sundays to get my day started super early because this is the last weekend day, so I like to be as productive as possible before we go into the beginning of a new week, and I have school and a bunch of stuff, and I usually can't prioritize like self-care or like other things. So anyway, you'll see what I did earlier in my morning, but I was able to read a little bit while I was eating, and then a little bit after like breakfast, like brunchish, and I'm on page 150 now, and I don't know, I've just been really loving it. It seems with these sorts of books, I'm always like, I really want to be like, I want to pick it up. Like when I'm not reading this book, I'm thinking about the book and I'm thinking about picking it up and getting back into the story with the characters. So I'm just super excited to continue to see what this book has in store for me. One thing that I really wanted to touch upon, it's such a wholesome story in general, but I think it has some larger themes of like acceptance and prejudice. In this line here, one of the characters says to our main character, Mr. Baker, he's the main protagonist. He's a 40-year-old man who is sent to this like place, this like orphanage with magical children, or children who are a little unusual. So basically what this character says is, it's not only this village, Mr. Baker. Just because you don't experience prejudice in your everyday, it doesn't stop it from existing for the rest of us. I think that's such a beautiful line, and it's a big theme that's recurring in this book, that plays on the preconceived notions of the main protagonist entering this space where he does not understand anything, and it's very apparent. So yeah, I'm loving this book a lot. There are a few other things that I will want to point out, probably in like my wrap-up video, things that I've just been loving. The writing style is super different from what I've read from other books, but I really can't pinpoint like what's so different about it and why I like it so much. It's very slow for sure. I would definitely say if you're into more fast-paced books, this is definitely a slower paced book for me. Ooh, the sun just came up. But yeah, it's definitely a lot slower than I'm used to, but I'm still enjoying it. It's not like boring at all. So I'm excited to keep reading. Okay, the sun just like made an appearance. So anyway, right now what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna prepare for a lot of interviews that I have. I'm running interviews for this program that I run. So I'm gonna work on that, and then I will probably catch back into reading or go grocery shopping. I'm not really sure yet what order, but I will tell you when I decide. Hello everyone, it is the next day from when you just saw that clip. Yesterday I was making dinner and I thought I'd take you on my journey to making pad thai for the first time. I made a tofu vegan pad thai. I will leave the recipe down below from the Minimalist Baker, but I wanted to try it because I was craving pad thai, but I was like, I really don't want to buy it, and if I learn how to make pad thai, then like I'll know how to make it forever, and then I'll just have all the ingredients on hand, and then like I'd be able to make it, and then I would never have to buy it, which is really cool because cooking is fun. I'm not gonna say I'm good at it, but cooking is fun to an extent where you're just like, it's kind of a relaxing thing for me. Anyway, I'm sorry I didn't vlog the rest of that day. I just realized that I really wasn't in a mood for reading yesterday, other than in the morning when I woke up, and then I wasn't in the mood to read throughout the entire day. And just for my mental health, I'm not going to like sacrifice not doing my homework and schoolwork and putting that off in order to read, even though this is a reading vlog and I did start this to hold myself accountable. I'm not going to stress too much about this. You're just going to see the clips of like my life, but also just me reading. But anyway, speaking of not in the mood for reading, I read this morning. I don't know why. I used to be like a night reader. I read really late at night, but I think lately I've just been so tired, and also Big Time Rush on Netflix. But anyway, besides that, I did get a couple of chapters in. I'm like more than halfway through the book now. I did read, I'm on page 200. I read a little bit of this. I think this book is it's super slow paced, and I think it just needs to be like, in my opinion, I don't think this book should be like devoured in like a day. Like I feel like some books, I feel like it has the potential to, since it's so good and you just want to keep reading and like learn more about the story. But I feel like you're following this main character who's discovering this orphanage and these children and kind of this new like philosophy of life, and I feel like me going into that, it's like I'm dipping my foot in, and I'm not like just like jumping into the water with the characters. But I really like that it's a slow, gradual thing. I really want to just take my time with this book because I swear to God, every time I pick up this book, it is like a dose of serotonin. Like it's just so wholesome. And that's another thing that I was going to touch on. Just the writing style is so consistent in that it evokes this feeling of just serenity and wholesomeness and calming, and you just, every page, like you're reading what the dialogue and like the descriptions, and you're just like, oh, like literally that's like me throughout this entire book. There's some parts where I literally just like posted it. I'm just like, this is so freaking wholesome. Like how is this book consistently wholesome and great? So anyway, that's the thing. But I also think the writing style is a little redundant. I think it reminds me a little bit, not in terms of like writing, I think a little bit of The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, where the writing, there's just a lot of thoughts in this main character's head that pop up a bunch of times, and I get it for like emphasizing and because it like, yeah, it's just like a kind of like, it becomes a motif almost, but it's just a little bit repetitive, a little bit redundant, but that's not taking away from my enjoyment of the story. But anyway, I'm gonna put this down. I'm probably gonna pick it back up later because I am in the mood to read. I'm like really excited to jump back into it. That's a good sign. But I did want to show you a package I received from a publishing company. I received a package this morning from Henry Holt Macmillan, and they sent me a book package, so I thought I would show you since it's like literally relevant to this video. books and everything. So they sent me a copy of Love Like That by Emma Duffy Comperone. This is a beautiful cover. It has like a slice of cake in it, and I just thought this looked super tasty, and it's super short as well. And then they sent me a few postcards that say tingle like a fresh sunburn. Oh, these stories tingle like a fresh sunburn. So super cute. 3 postcards. And then they sent me a little cake pop that says Love Like That. This is some of the cutest branding we've ever seen, but it just has the title of the book on the cake pop. I think that's so cute, and I'm so excited. I love cake pops, but I'm gonna eat that. But basically this book is a collection of short stories about brilliant broken women who are like finding themselves through love and like rediscovering themselves. Let me read here. A joyfully subversive and moving debut collection of stories about brilliant broken women that are just the right amount of wrong. Yeah, I don't know. It's about, there's so many like different things in here. Whether diving into complicated relationships or wrestling with family ties, the girls and women who populate this collection, misfits and misanthropes, bickering sisters, responsible daughters, and unhappy wives, don't always find themselves making the best situations. I love this. I think it's going to be a really great collection of just messy lives of women, and super excited also to be reading this for Women's History Month. Oh wait, that's this month. This month is ending. Okay, it's fine. But anyway, I just wanted to share that, and if you are interested, I will leave the links for this book down below. And yeah, I will catch up with you later. I have a statistic class. I have my stats class at 1:45, and then after that I will probably read some more and then update you a little bit on that. But I just wanted to show you how my day is going. It's such a gorgeous day out. My allergies are coming in. It is like 72 degrees. It's gonna be 70 degrees today. It's a little windy, but it's just a beautiful day, and I took some pictures. I'm in a great mood, and yeah, I hope you all are having a great day too when you're watching this, and I will update you when I read.
How it's close to 1, like in the bottom right picture. So X and Y4 have correlation close to 1. They almost lie on a line. And it doesn't matter the slope of the line. It just matters that they're very close to a line and that it's positive. If they're very close to a line that slopes down, then the correlation will be close to -1.
It is midnight and I did a lot of reading. I am like how many pages? Oh, I'm like 100 more, a few more than like 120 pages from the end, so like not bad, but like it's just a work of genius that I like never want to end, and it's so sad that it's ending. And I feel like this is just a book that I'm gonna reread all over and over again. Just there's so many thoughts going on in my head. It's rushing. I just really want to read, but I'm gonna stop for today. But yeah, so I don't know. It's just, I feel like it's written, I feel like there's a lot of planning that went into this, and it's just written, it's just so ingenious. Everything about this book, what this book stands for. I feel like the best way to sum it up is how everyone has told me this book was, like on Twitter and everything, and on Instagram when I posted about it, is just wholesome. Like that's like one word I would use to describe this book, because it is truly wholesome. Like the characters, all of these characters, by the way, like the children at this orphanage, I just want to like meet in real life. Like I want to meet so bad. I want to like meet them, hug them, protect them from the world, and tell them that everything's gonna be okay. Just like, I'm probably gonna have dreams about them. But anyway, I just thought something was interesting. I wrote this one word down in my notes when I was like just thinking about it, is because this book just reminds me so much. It gives me the vibes of like cottagecore. It just really evokes that like really like picturesque nature, very beautiful kind of setting. Like that reminds me of cottagecore, and like that, it's not a cottage, but like it feels like that. And there's a sprite, so I mean there's some of the characters are sprites, so I feel like it does kind of give me that feeling. But anyway, I am loving this book and I don't want it to end. I'm so mad that I've never heard of TJ Klune before this, but after this I'm gonna read everything, every single thing. Yeah, the magic in this is just super cool. It's very like subtle, but I feel like it's there and it like makes a really big impact. I don't know. I think there's also just a lot of like motifs and symbolism in this book that I really would like to explore upon like a reread, or just talking about it with people, because there's a lot of good like motifs. It kind of reminds me of, what's that book? It's not 1984. I don't remember which book, but it just reminds me of like one of the motifs or like something that's repeated is see something, say something. And I don't know what that reminds me of. I'll probably like put like the photo of the book that I'm thinking and do more research about it, because I know I'm thinking of this book that I read, like it's a classic book that you read in high school and whatever, and it just reminds me of that, because there's like this overarching power, overseeing power that like oversees everything. It's like they're watching everyone, like Big Brother, something with that. I just remember the name Big Brother, but I can't remember what book it's from, and it's killing me. But that's what this kind of reminds me of a little, like these motifs that keep coming up, like that they're being watched and that they're being like, you know, carefully, you know. Anyway, that's my thoughts on this. I'm rambling. It's 12 a.m. and I'm gonna watch some Big Time Rush before I sleep, and then gonna read more tomorrow. Anyway, good night. Okay, hi everyone. I finished House in Cerulean Sea. I finished it, and just forewarning you, this is basically going to be a 5-minute ranting session of how much I love this book and how it's my favorite book of all time now, I swear. Like, it is on that list. It's like the top 5 list of favorite books of all time, up there with Pachinko. And if you know me in real life and if you've seen me on my platforms, you know how much I talk about Pachinko. I don't shut up about it. This book, I just feel like a stan now. Like, I feel like everybody else now, just like another fangirl, because everyone I know who's read this book, like, they don't just like it. They, like, love it. Okay, so anyway, we're gonna just talk a little bit about it. Overall, it is what it like lived up to the hype or the expectation, and the only expectation I had, because I said I didn't read the synopsis or I didn't read the story and I didn't know what it's about. The only expectation I had was that it was a very lighthearted, wholesome read that really just tugged at your heartstrings. It's gonna make me cry. It almost did make me cry. I'm not in like a crying mood, if that makes sense. Like, usually I'm just very susceptible to crying, but I didn't cry at some moments, even though like I definitely could have cried if it was like any other day. But overall, it lived up to that expectation. It was so wholesome. It felt like a big warm hug, which I felt, like I said, I mentioned in other clips, I think the vibe was very cottagecore. It felt very warm, cozy, sunset feel, that kind of thing. The entire book felt that way. Like, the consistency in the writing is just immaculate. It is amazing. Like, how does an author write with such consistency that it can evoke such a mood throughout the entire book? I have no clue. Please, I am like gonna analyze this as a creative writing major, because I need to know his tricks. Okay, so for a book that's like overall very lighthearted, I have some notes here, so I'm reading off of them. It had no shortage of action and plot. Like, I feel like it had a very, very centered plot, and it really stuck with that throughout the entire book, which was really nice because I wasn't really expecting that. I mean, I don't know what I was expecting, but I think the standout of this book are definitely the characters. The characters were by far the best part of this book. Every character is super different and unique. Like, you can just, if you read the dialogue and you didn't tell me who said it, like who it was from, I would be able to tell you who it was from, because it was just that distinct and unique. And every character in this book had such a complex development, you know? No, seriously, like, each and every one of them had great development. And it's just so interesting how he writes such great characters, because a lot of these characters are from entirely different age groups. You have the main character and the master of the house, who are like 40-year-old men, and he writes that really well, like 40-year-old men. Then you have the young children who are like ranging in different ages, with the youngest I think being 6, like a 6-year-old. And they all have these ranging personalities that sometimes don't have to do with their age, because some kids that are younger don't act their age. And then you have Zoe, who like you'll read about, but there's no shortage of different characters from different ages, which, to be honest, I don't think I've ever read a book with this many age differences in a single book, so I think that's really cool. And it's also interesting that he uses third person as the point POV. I forgot which third person. You would think a creative writing major would know her POVs, but no, I think it's like limited. I don't know, but it's just interesting how he chose to use third person since it felt so much like first person, since you're in the head of our main character, Linus Baker. So you're reading it and you know all his inner thoughts and kind of his inner monologue, but he's saying his inner monologue out loud. So it's kind of first person, but it's very much third person. So that was an interesting writing technique I noticed. I loved the broader themes. At first, I didn't know where the story's going, but I loved the broader themes and I think the story itself is metaphorical for just social injustices that we see in our own world, even though this world is kind of like fantasy. It is made up. But yeah, I think it's really interesting how it connects. It is such a timely book because it connects so much to like prejudice and overcoming hate and the mundane, like, you know, the difference between the mundane and what is creative and being imaginative, all that good stuff. So I think it's just so beautiful. The queer rep, oh my god, there was no shortage of queer rep. It was amazing. It was beautiful. It was so interesting to see. I had never read queer rep in 40-year-old men or just like at that age group. I've mostly obviously read young adult, not a lot of adult queer rep, which I want to read more of. Yeah, I would definitely recommend going into this book not knowing anything. So like, if you haven't read the synopsis yet, you don't know what it's about, I would just recommend just reading it and like just figuring out for yourself, because I think that impacted me so much because I didn't know what to expect from the story. And I think that was really fun discovering that from the beginning. Like, why are we talking about this? Like, what is this? Because you don't get to know what's like from the back of the book. I thought that was like amazing. It really impacted my reading experience. I don't know how to describe this book like without just saying, like, being a broken record and repeating what is said on Goodreads and what is said on Bookstagram, but it was just so lovely and so great, and I'm definitely 100% going to read it again. I'm literally about to order everything that TJ Klune has ever written, and he's like an auto-buy author just from this one book, like no joke. Like literally this cover is like what this entire book feels like. Like this cover is like consistently, like it was consistently in my head about like how this book feels. Like literally like sunset or sunrise and like cottagecore, like very naturey feeling. Like, oh, it was just everywhere. But let me know your comments down below. Thank you so much for watching up till now. If you have endured this long in my video, if you've read this book, please let me know down below. I will read every comment on this video because I just want to talk about this. Like, I want to talk about this with you. Have you read this book? Did you love it? If you didn't love it, let me know why you didn't. If you did, let's talk. And if you haven't read this book, I will leave all links down below where you can purchase it to my affiliate link at bookshop.org. And I'm jealous of you. Like, you're gonna read this book for the first time, and that's just great because it's an adventure, and I want to unread this book so I can read it again. But anyway, thank you for watching. Have a great night or whatever. I'm about to go to sleep. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.